Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the June Keys Penguin Habitat. This is not a feeding time. What this is cleaning time. One of the jobs as a penguin caretaker that we do is actually clean their exhibits. Unfortunately, the penguins do not clean their own rooms. Parents, you can usually train your children to do that, but unfortunately, penguins will not do that. So what we do is we get in here once a week and we clean. And the stuff that you see floating on top is actually red algae. It doesn't hurt the animals whatsoever. It just comes off when we're using a power washer that we have going right now with Sara. Now, a lot of times people wonder, does it scare the penguins? Not in the slightest. If you notice, they're just kind of sitting up here. We still have some penguins in there because they like to go and harass Sara at times. They'll swim down, buzz by her. Some of them like to play in the bubbles. And so this is all something that they are used to. Like I said, we do this once a week. And so it's a great way for us to get their rooms cleaned, get good eyes on the penguins, and just kind of sit up here and have penguin time. Now I'm in here watching, making sure I'm what's called a tender. So Sara is hooked up to what's known as a hookah rig. So her breathing is coming off this tank right there. I am actually looking at her air consumption. So once she hits a certain amount, I will actually tell her, hey, you're at the limit where you have to stop, which is 500 psi. So she will be down there, and usually we can clean an exhibit on a tank that size for about an hour. So Sara's been doing this quite some time, so she is quite good at maintaining her breathing and making sure that she tries to get as much done as possible. Now, like I said, the penguins just will swim around. They'll go in, they'll come out. The water does get a little cloudy, but one thing that we look at is how soon our water gets clear. And that's because this actual tank has a turnover rate of 45 minutes. And what that means is that all the water in this tank gets run through our filters every 45 minutes. So what that is it goes through, all the filters are in the back, and if you've ever been on a BTS behind the scenes tour here at the aquarium, you pass by all of our filters, and all this water gets filtered in, gets cleaned, and brought back into the exhibit. Now, another thing that helps us clean this exhibit is that wave machine that you see. You can see kind of the current going. That's another way that we can clean our exhibit. But later on, you'll see Sara get a vacuum. So not only do we prep their food, we serve their food, we clean their exhibit, we do windows, and we vacuum. So all of those jobs are done by the animal caretakers. Now, we feed our penguins about 3 times a day. Their last feed, because we're diving, will most likely be around 4:30. Just because it does take us quite a bit of time to clean their exhibit. It's about an hour to an hour and a half of underwater time, and that doesn't include the actual prep time for us to get ready, get in a wetsuit, get done, break down all the equipment. So I think their last feed will usually be around 4:30. So if you're still here, please come back and take a look at that. Now we have 20 penguins on exhibit. We have 3 penguins that are in what we call our nursery. We've had 3 offspring, 3 chicks. We have purple, green, and blue, and that is denoted, or I'm sorry, purple, green, and red. That is denoted from their bands that they have on their wings. Each penguin right now is eating well. We're hoping to soon have them go into our back holding pool, which is right back here. But we do that in small stages because where they're at right now is temperature controlled. It's around 65 degrees, and that's perfect for the health of the baby penguin. But once we start bringing them out here, there's certain guidelines that it can't be too hot for us to bring them out here. And when we do bring them out, it's in a controlled environment. So they won't have access to the rest of the colony for quite some time. We'll actually start introducing them to some of the nicer penguins. This is Lily, who's coming up really fast and furious. She's not one of the nicer penguins. She's probably going to harass me a bit, try to play with my radio. Are you going to help me tend? No, you're going to do that. And that's her mate right there is Mattson. So they tend to like to come, and since I am near their burrow, which is right back here, that's their little condo. And so that is where they like to go. And so sometimes when I'm up here, they think that I'm infringing on their space, but we have to learn how to share, don't we? Now, you may hear some braying later. These penguins are in a territorial phase, so they're constantly vocalizing. They're also doing what we're calling sparring, where they'll kind of go back and forth with their beaks with each other, and you can probably hear that from out there, but that's normal. It's a way that a penguin tells who's boss. This is my area. You can hear Lily starting to vocalize a little bit. Let's see if we can get her to vocalize. Stage fright, I guess. We have a mixture of females and males. We have more males than females. All of the females are paired up. Whether they produce offspring is another story. Some of our females are quite young, and so they have not learned how to do that, but there's lots of practicing going on. We have some youngsters. This is a stare right here. He's 2 years old. Now, the penguin that's in front of me in the water, that is Gats. Now, Gats looks a little bit different, and that's because he is a juvenile penguin. He doesn't have that distinctive double black band on his chest. Pretty soon, these penguins are going to be going through their molt stage, and what that means is that they are going to get ready to lose all these outer feathers. You can kind of see that their feathers are looking a little bit more brown than black, and that's telling me that molt is soon to come. What they'll do is they go through a catastrophic molt, so they'll eat a lot of food, bulk up, and what will happen is they will lose all those external feathers, so that all that's left is their downy feathers. And those downy feathers, they'll stay up here until their new feathers grow in. Luckily for us, each penguin molts at a different time. Usually the youngster, Gats, will go first, and then as the age progresses, they'll be the next in line. So our oldest penguin, who is right in front there, our smallest penguin, she tends to go last in the molting, which is fine for us, because if you just think about 20 penguins losing all their feathers all at once, that could lead to a lot of problems with clogged filters, lots of mess. But luckily for us, like I said, they molt in different kind of age groups, so we are able to keep track, clean up everything, and we don't have a whole lot of penguins not feeling all that great, because when you lose all your feathers, they do get into a bit of a mood. They don't want to interact. They don't want to be around anybody. A lot of them tend to go off feed for a little bit just because they just don't feel all that great when that happens. Well, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to be moving the tank over a little bit, because as the tender, I need to make sure that not only am I watching her air consumption, but as she moves, I move her tank with her. So I'm going to sign off, but I would like to say thank you all for coming to the aquarium, because your admission does help us take care of all of our animals. So for myself, Sara, who's in the water, and our penguins up on here, we'd like to say thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.